going on? What's going on? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Peace and blessings to you all. Danda, what's going on? Nat, what's going on? Nat, so good to see you, beloved. What's up, Valerie? So good to see you. So good to see you all. Frail suffering, I see you. I see you. What's going on? Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Mindset Masters family is in the building. Charcel, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Yeti Berry, let's go. What's up, Quee? So good to see you, beloved. Kim's in the building. What's up, Kim? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you. What's up, David? So good to see you. Christy, so good to see you. Christy Michelle is in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's frozen for you. Hang on. Good morning to you all. Is it still frozen? Still frozen for you guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is it frozen or is it good for you guys now? Got it. Yeah, let me go out and come back in. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Got my Tara in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Let me see. We'll try it again now. Aquarian Goddess, so good to see you. Is it good for you guys now? What's up, Lynetta? So good to see you, beloved. Awesome, 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 awesome. Rashawn, so good to see you. Cat lovers in the building. What's up, cat lover? Do me a favor, you guys, share the live to your stories real quick. What's up, Darlene? So good to see you. Love you too, Destiny. So good to see you, beloved. Good morning to you all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. Mayra's in the building. Let's go. Rika's in the building. Let's go. Do me a favor real quick. Share the live to your stories. Greetings to you as well. So good to see you. So good to say, hey, you love that discipline piece. That discipline piece. Beast. That discipline piece that's a whole different animal right there. The discipline piece was a whole different animal. David, you said you loved it too. Yeah, it's a whole different animal. Yeah, it's a whole different animal. What's up, Snicky? So good to see you. Whole different animal. Whole different animal. Whole different animal. Whole different animal. You know, yeah, that's that right there, Lynetta. I'm gonna be honest with you. That right there is really the highest level of mastery. There is no higher level of mastery than that. Everything is it's the highest level of mastery. It's the highest level of mastery. It's not detachment. You know, it's not mastering the ego. It's none of that. You know, when you fully understand that discipline is spiritual intelligence. It's the only thing that connects you to your purpose. It's the only thing that connects you to self-awareness. It's the only thing, it connects you to everything. When you fully understand that you can't even discover your purpose if you don't have discipline. You won't, nothing becomes unlocked without discipline. Nothing. Discipline can build everything, and a lack of discipline tears everything down. Discipline it's the highest level of everything. It's the highest level of everything. I don't need to focus on detachment when I'm disciplined. I don't even have attachments when I'm disciplined. My ego doesn't bother me when I'm disciplined. My thoughts don't bother me when I'm disciplined. People's opinions of me don't matter when I'm disciplined because I know who I am. I'm moving through the world. I know who I am. What's up, Poppy? So good to see you. Right? When I have discipline, I have everything. When I lack discipline, that's when I'm confused. When I lack discipline, I'm not self-aware. When I lack discipline, I need external validation. When I lack discipline, I'm borrowing other people's opinions about who I think I am. I'm borrowing things from the world when I lack discipline. When I have discipline, I got everything. I don't need anything. I'm the most powerful version of myself when I'm disciplined. That means, and I'm disciplined in all 4 areas of my life. I'm disciplined in my physical world. I'm disciplined in my mental world. I'm disciplined in my spiritual world, and I'm disciplined in my financial. When you have discipline, when you understand, see, everything that you've been told about discipline has been dead ass wrong. We just gonna start with the truth, and then we can go any direction you want. The people who taught you about discipline weren't awakened. The people who taught you about discipline had no self-awareness in them, so they can't tell you about something that they've never discovered themselves. They gave you a global perspective on what discipline is, but discipline is spiritual. Everything that God creates is predicated on discipline. So how is God going to be disciplining you not? And you didn't take it serious because the world didn't tell you that you needed to take it serious. Nobody told you how serious it is. Nobody ever told you that. Nobody's ever told you that. So why would you take something serious and nobody's ever told you how serious it is? Yeah, discipline is the most plain craft serious thing in your life. Wherever you're going to be in life, you're going to be becoming either because you were disciplined or you lacked it. It's no in the middle. So the way you're going to become the most powerful version of yourself. There is no other way. There ain't no other way. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so we can get the medicine up. I'm going to do my job. I just need you guys to do yours, please. Poppy Chulo, what's going on, my brother? So good to see you. Again, I'm going to do my job. I just need you guys to do yours. You guys get the likes up, get the shares out. Let's get the medicine out. Awesome. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. Trina, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Again, let's get the likes up, you guys, so we can get the medicine out. Do me a favor, share the live to your stories real quick. Please share the live to your stories real quick. And let me just say this to you. Let me just, some of you guys are getting D's and F's. You getting D's and F's in life. And who's looking at that report card? God's looking at that report card. Every time you show up small in your own life, that's an F. Every time you settle for less, that's an F. Every time you allow someone to disrespect you, that's an F. Every time you walk on eggshells so that you don't lose this person, that's an F. Every time you walking through life and you're not living out of your authenticity, that's an F. Some of you guys have D's and F's on your report card, and the one who sees that report card is God. Think about your own kids. Just think about your kids for a moment. If your kids come home, or your favorite nieces or nephew, and they come home and they hand you their report card and it has D's and F's on it, you're not getting ready to bless them. You are not going to reward them for bringing you D's and F's, because you would only be supporting a bad behavior. You would be supporting their lack of effort. You would be supporting the fact that they're not trying, especially when you know they can. That's how God is looking at you. You got D's and F's. You showing up small. That's an F. You not loving yourself. That's an F. You procrastinating all day. That's an F. You looking for love outside of yourself. That's an F. You think that you need other people to make you happy. That's an F. You're chasing external validation. That's an F. And then you're wondering why you don't have all these blessings in your life. Why would he bless that behavior? Make it make sense to yourself. Why would he reward? The same way that you wouldn't reward your kids. You're not going to take them to go get the new Xbox, or take them to go get whatever the new games console is, or take them to go get some new Jordans. You're not going to bless them and they bringing you D's and F's. Why would he bless your life and you wouldn't bless your kids' life? Because if he blessed your life, he would only be rewarding bad behavior. He would only be rewarding you being out of alignment with him. Use your spiritual common sense. You sit here in relationships past the expiration date. That's an F. You waking up every single day to a life that you don't love, and you don't do anything about it but complain to him and pray all day. That's an F. We talked about this yesterday. God cannot bother doing for you what he gave you the power to do for yourself. You don't need to change your life. You need to change the mindset that built the life that you don't want. That's what you change. You don't need to change people. You need to change the version of yourself that attracted that person into your life to begin with. So stop focusing on them. Good morning, beloved. So good to see you. Good morning. Ellie, what's up, Ellie? Got my Ellie in the building. What's up, Ellie? So good to see you. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. And for some of you guys that's in the Mindset Masters community, for some of the Mindset Masters family, I'm gonna just be honest with you. You don't have discipline in your life. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. So if you want something sugarcoated, you might want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. What I'm saying to you is very simple. The reason why the transformation may not have happened to you, the reason why you may not be the most powerful version of yourself right now, even though you've been rocking with me for a while, it's because you don't have discipline in your life. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, doesn't matter how many skills you have, doesn't matter what degrees and certifications you carry. If you don't have discipline in your life, you will never become the most powerful version of yourself. Sometimes you do the work, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you work out, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you eat clean, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you save, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you show up for yourself, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you love yourself. You got too much sometimey type of energy in your life. There's no consistency in your life. That's why there's all of this confusion. Sometimes you shadow box, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you show up in the community, sometimes you don't. You two on the fence. Now, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I'm saying, damn, you got to pick a side. You're not the person you want to be right now, not because of something that's happening in the world. You're not the person you want to be right now because of what's happening in your mind. There's no discipline in your mind. And an undisciplined mind can only produce chaos, can only produce suffering, can only produce unhappiness. You got no discipline in your life. I'm just being honest with you. That's the problem. You ain't got no discipline. I'm the reflection of that. You don't see how disciplined I am? I am the human manifestation of discipline. You should see it. I put it on display for you every day. I'm here Monday through Friday. You know you can set your watch to me. I'm going to put the thoughts of the day in the community. I'm writing every single day for you guys. I am the human manifestation of what discipline is. I show you every day. Consistently. That's what discipline needs. It needs the consistency. Can't be lukewarm. If I showed up for you guys, sometimes I show up, sometimes I don't. You don't know if I'm sure. Is coach coming today? What's going on? Does anybody know? What would happen? You would be confused. You would be confused, and rightfully so. You would be confused. I show up 2 days out of the week this time, and I show up 3 days out of the week next time, and then the next week I show up all 5 days. You wouldn't know what the hell to do. You couldn't even plan your morning because you're like, damn, I don't know if coach going to be there or not today. Look at all that confusion that would create. Okay, well, God was looking at your life the same way. He said, I'm not going to bless your confusion. I'm not going to honor all this chaos you got going on in your life. It wouldn't be any different. What would be the difference? Just think about what I'm saying. How you going to plan your morning if you don't know whether or not I'm going to be here? You're like, damn, coach, you disrupted my whole morning. Some days you show up, some days you don't. Sometimes you go hard, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you ready, and sometimes you not. Sometimes you prepared, sometimes you not prepared. Come on, I'm showing you. And I'm not just like this when it comes to this live. I'm like this in all 4 quadrants of my life. In my physical world, I'm killing it. My mental world, I'm killing it. My spiritual world, I'm killing it. My financial, I'm killing it. It's not bragging if it's true. I'm just telling you, I bring the same level of discipline that you see right here. I'm bringing that to every single area of my life. I'm a reflection of that. You have to understand that when people meet you, what they really meet is your reflection. They don't meet you. Only God knows that version of you. Your significant other doesn't even know that version of you. They only know what they think you are. Nobody knows the real you. The only person that knows the real you is you and God. 2 people know you. You know you, he knows you. Everybody else only knows what they think they know about you. There are 2 people that in the whole universe that knows who you really are, that knows what you will accept, that knows what you tolerate, that knows your heart, knows your temperament, knows your attitude. No, he knows it all just like you. So when people meet you, they don't ever meet the real you. They only meet your reflection. What does that mean? They meet your programming and conditioning. They meet your ego. They meet the masks that you wear. They meet your persona. They meet your reputation. They meet your level of education. Ain't none of that you. None of that is reflective of you. Those are all things that are an extension of you. I'll give you that, but they are not you. So a person is not falling in love with who you are at your essence because they don't get to know you that deeply. Why? Because they don't know themselves that deeply. So they don't know what to look for in you. Because they don't know what to look for in themselves. I'm going to discover something in you I ain't discovered in me. So when people meet you, they are meeting your reflection. That's what you bring to the moment. There's only 2 things you can bring to the moment. You can bring your essence to the moment, or you can bring your reflection. And when you're not a master of self, you're going to bring your reflection. I don't want you to meet my level of education when you meet me. I don't want you to meet my certifications. I don't want you to meet my achievements. I don't want you to meet my accomplishments, and I don't want to meet yours. So I'm going to sidestep all of that. I want to have an essence to essence, spirit to spirit conversation with you. Or I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your representative. Because I ain't going to ever get to the real you. But that's what people are meeting when they meet you, and that's what you are meeting when you meet people. Good morning, Elaine. So good to see you, beloved. And that's what you have to understand. Every single person on the face of this earth right now, but you most importantly, is dealing with their own crow. We all are. And when I say the word crow, I'm talking about like the bird. Every person is dealing with their own crow. Your pain is your crow. Your suffering is your crow. Your childhood traumas is your crow. Your procrastination, that's your crow. Your lack of love that you have for yourself, that's your crow. All of your addictions, that's your crow. Everything you avoid, that's your crow. What controls you is your crow. You showing up small in your relationships, that's your crow. Every single person that you meet is dealing with an inner crow. And the whole art to the game is to eliminate the crow and not be eaten by it. So when you walk up and you see someone, that person is dealing with an inner crow. Now here's the thing, that person will master the ability to have it all together in that moment. So you won't meet the crow in the moment. You're going to meet the mask in that moment, but they are dealing with a crow. And I'm only telling you this so you quit placing people on these pedestals in your life. What the hell you got this person on some pedestal for? They dealing with a crow like you. And the crow that they're dealing with could be infinitely worse than anything you dealing with. Your crow just might be procrastination. Their crow could be some childhood trauma that they're going to project onto you later. Their crow could be physical, mental, and verbal abuse. Their crow could be the fact that they're a serial cheater. Their crow could be the fact that they lack the ability to stay committed to their commitments. That could be their crow. Their crow could be far worse than yours. But everybody has one. I don't know a person on the face of this earth, me included, put me at the front of the line. I don't know a person on this earth that's not dealing with their inner crow right now. Stop placing people on pedestals. Special is what lives in your mind. It does not exist in the person. So when you look at that person, oh, they so special. Special came from you. Special came from the label you attached to that person. You called them special because you saw something in them that also exists in you. But when you lack self-awareness, you think it's just coming from them. No, you saw reflections of yourself in their character. You saw reflections of yourself in their attitude. You saw reflections of yourself in their behavior. And you created a story in your mind and you called them special. But it wasn't special that was coming from them. It was special that was coming from you. Let me qualify that in case you're struggling with it. You don't have the ability to see people's behind the scenes. You can only see their highlight reel. You don't have access to their behind the scenes. If you could see their behind the scenes, you would have never called them special to begin with. Why? Because you would have saw the crow. You saw the crow sitting there. You said, ooh. And let me tell you what would have happened to you. You wouldn't have marveled at their greatness in that moment. See, once you see the crow inside that person, you'll stop calling them great. Beyonce has a crow. LeBron James has a crow. Taylor Swift has a crow. Whoever it is that you think is your favorite celebrity, all have some inner crow that they are dealing with. Everyone does. That's the whole art to the game. Once you slay the crow, that's when you have the spiritual awakening. You can't have a spiritual awakening until you have slayed that crow. My crow is external validation. Period. I used to walk around an army full of people. I'm talking about people everywhere. Tour bus full of people. And every single person was yes, 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 yes. They were all yes men. And they weren't around me because they liked me. They were around me because they could benefit from me. They could leverage my lifestyle. I'm one of the most generous people you will ever meet. If I got it, you got it. That's my mentality. That's my attitude. And people knew that. So people weren't around me because of me.
Even though my program and conditioning mind had told me that they were. I'm thinking that everybody was around me because they like me. No, people like how they were benefiting from me. And the moment I turned the benefit off, the people all went away. See, some people love you, and then some people love their need of you. Some people love you, and then some people love how they benefit from you. Some people love you, and then some people love the value that you bring to their lives. And if you're not self-aware, you won't know the difference between the two, which I didn't. So I didn't know my value. I didn't know my worth. My value came from external circumstances. My value came from everything outside of me. In my opinion, I didn't represent any value at all. My value came from the cars. My value came from the clothes. My value came from the parties. My value came from my popularity. My value came from my money, which means that anytime one of those things were out of alignment, I felt out of alignment. If I lost money, I felt like a loser. If I lost a car, I felt like a loser. If somebody walked out of my life, I'm sitting here trying to chase this person, get them back. That's who I used to be before I became this version of me. I got my value from my valuables, which means I didn't know who I was. When you don't know who you are, you're a liability to yourself and to every person you come in contact with. And that's exactly where I was. I was a liability. It wasn't an asset. Some of you guys, you dealing with that. You think when you lose somebody, you feel like you lost a part of yourself. You lose your job, you feel like you lost a part of yourself. You lose some material possession and you feel like you lost a part of yourself. That was me. Everything had to look a certain way in order for me to be happy. That's a fragile life. That's suffering. That's misery. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Enough about all of that. Yeah, I'm telling you, the most dangerous person in the world is the person that doesn't know who they are, because they're going to be a liability because they don't know where to find their value. How can I find my value if I don't know the value is coming from me? If I don't know that the value is coming from me, then I'm looking for the value somewhere else, right? I'm always looking. See, you have to understand something about seeking. Seeking implies that you are not in possession of the thing that you are seeking. So when you seeking anything from an external validation, that means that you don't have it. This is why I tell people all the time, the most dangerous thing you can do is to look for love, because to look for love implies that you don't have it. I'm looking for happiness. That means you don't have it. Anything that you are looking for implies that you don't have it at the time, because if you had it, you wouldn't be looking. You wouldn't be looking. You don't look for food when you're hungry. You don't look for a gym when you just finished working out. You don't look for water when you just drank a glass, right? You're not looking for anything when you have it. You look for things when you don't have it. So, it's dangerous when a person says, oh, Coach, I'm looking for love. I just want to be loved. When you say that, what you're really saying is that I'm not in possession of it right now. I need to go find it in somebody else. You will never find what's already in you in someone else. I'm nervous. As soon as you say that, I'll get nervous. All right, let's get busy, Let's turn up. That part right there, Jamie. Love starts with you. Like I said again, but we miss that. That sounds too easy because you never found it. You never had it before. That's why it sounds easy. Like discipline. Discipline sounds easy, but until you start to implement it, you'll understand that it's not. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you just do. Oh, start being more disciplined. It's not something that you do. It's something that you become. Something that you embody. It's like love. It's not something you do. It's something you become. You don't make love. You rise in it. What's up, Steph? All right, let's get busy getting busy. We got a lot of ground to cover. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Type me in the comments real quick if this is your very first time on the live. Type me if this is your very first time on a live stream with me. Let me just do a quick intro for you before this plane takes off. I am going to land this plane today. I guarantee you, on your runway. Okay, awesome. Welcome to you all. Welcome all first time and last time listeners. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, consciousness, emotional intelligence, in helping my students and my clients all over the world to become the most powerful versions of themselves. I have been the secret weapon for some of the most powerful people that have ever walked the face of this earth. From doctors, lawyers, entertainers, musicians, actors, actresses, you name it, I've coached them. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? This book is a bestseller and it is a game changer. Having said all of that, my purpose in life is to help people discover theirs. That's my purpose in life, and anytime that you're aligned with somebody that's operating out of their purpose, that's one of the greatest gifts that you'll ever have access to. One of the greatest gifts that you will ever have access to, I'm telling you now, is to be locked in with a person that is doing the thing that they were originally created to do. Because that person doesn't need anything from you. That person will never hurt you. That person will never manipulate you because they've discovered themselves. People that hurt you haven't discovered themselves. People that manipulate you haven't discovered themselves. People that prey on you don't know who they are as of yet. And oftentimes those are the very people that we add to our lives from a relationship perspective. And you think that this person, because they have some certification or some degree or the Mercedes Benz or the fancy house or whatever it is that's going on, you think that that person knows who they are. They don't. I was all of those things, the houses, the cars, the this, the that, didn't know who the hell I was. And we start trying to find ourselves in other people. See, that's what happens when you don't know who you are. You go looking for who you are in other people. And you end up hurting people because you're not really looking for love. You're just looking for a deeper understanding of yourself. And that's what we all go out seeking. We start looking for ourselves in the mirrors of other people, but you'll never discover yourself that way. But we think that is the way. What's up, Rock? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you. All right, let's get busy, getting busy. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Yep, if you just joined, appreciate that, Jazz. If you just joined, do me a favor, share the live to your stories real quick. We are getting ready to take off. My live streams are like a TED Talk on steroids. So if you enjoy powerful conversations, you're in the right place. If you, like to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stimulated, you are in the right place. Britt Pack, so good to see you, my brother. So good to see you. All right, Rico, let's turn up. Today is day 2, right? Today is day 2 of the self-discipline masterclass. If you missed day 1, you missed something special. But even if you missed day 1, day 2 is going to be just as powerful. I think it's going to be more. But this is arguably the most important conversation you will ever have in the history of your life. I'm just going to be honest with you. Unless greatness is not in your future. If you're not chasing greatness, then this conversation won't be for you. If you are not really looking to unlock your potential, then this conversation won't be for you. If you're not looking to become the most powerful version of yourself, then this conversation won't be for you. If mediocrity is something that you tolerate, then this conversation won't be for you. This conversation is for high achievers. This conversation is for people that know they are chosen ones. This conversation is for people that are looking to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful version of themselves, period. This conversation is for people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? That's what this conversation is aimed at and geared toward. So let's get busy. If you lukewarm, this conversation is not for you. Okay. You're a lukewarm person. You won't get any, you won't extract any value from this conversation. All right. Your life is shaped by the disciplines you choose to avoid. I just want you to sit with that for a second. That's the realest thing I can ever tell you. Your life is shaped by the disciplines you choose to avoid. Juliet, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Cupcake Diva, so good to see you. Discipline is one of the most misunderstood words in the English language. When I say your life is shaped by the disciplines you choose to avoid, what that means is there are things that you know you need to do that you don't do, that you're not disciplined in that area. So what fills that space? Excuses. What fills that space? Procrastination. What fills that space? You staying in relationships past the expiration date. What fills that space? You tolerating for a life that's far beneath your potential. Because there's only two types of lives that you can live. There's the one that you live, and then there's the life that you're living now, and then there's a life that you're capable of living. Let me say that one more time. There's the life that you're living now, and then there's the life that you're capable of living. And the two are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Some of you guys are just settling for the life you're living because you don't have the discipline to build the life that you are capable of living. That's the whole purpose of this live stream today. We get ready to unlock something. Something's getting ready to become unlocked. I don't know what, but we unlocking something. So one more time, discipline is one of the most misunderstood words in the English language. The moment you say the word discipline, people think punishment, restriction, suffering, or control. But discipline is not negative. Discipline is the bridge between potential and fulfillment. Discipline is the evidence that your purpose is taken seriously. I said discipline is the evidence that you take your purpose seriously. What's up, Soleil? So good to see you, beloved. Discipline is the evidence that God's calling on your life matters to you. I said discipline is the evidence that God's calling on your life matters to you. I didn't say that it matters to your significant other. I didn't say that it matters to the people on social media. I didn't say that it has to matter to your kids. I said that it matters to you. Doesn't need to matter to any other person. Discipline is not what you do for yourself. Discipline is not what you do to yourself. Discipline is what you do for yourself. One more time. Discipline is not what you do to yourself. Discipline is what you do for yourself. Discipline is the management of freedom. Without discipline, freedom becomes chaos. Before you can understand discipline, you have to understand purpose. Purpose is the original intent of the Creator for the creation. This part is important. Let me slow down here. Purpose is the original intent of the Creator for the creation. Purpose is always determined by the manufacturer, never by the product. That part's important. Purpose is always determined by the manufacturer, never by the product. That means that you cannot discover your purpose by asking yourself, which is probably why you confused. You asking yourself, you asking all these people around you, your friends, your family, what do you think my purpose is? They're not the manufacturer. How are they going to tell you what your purpose is? How are you going to tell yourself what your purpose is? You can only talk to the manufacturer to find out your purpose. You discover your purpose by asking God, not people. Your purpose is not the thing you do. Your purpose is the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. And that right there is a game changer. One more time. Your purpose is not the thing you do. Your purpose is the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. See, right now, I'm the best example of that. Right now, I'm operating out of my purpose. But me just operating out of my purpose is not for me. But as I'm operating out of my purpose, there's things that's happening in you. Now, I don't know what's happening in you. It's really none of my business. I'm just operating out of my purpose. But something's happening in you, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, or a combination of the three. That's when you become powerful. When you just walk through life being who you are, but you become so powerful that there are things happening in other people that you are blind to. Transformations happening, spiritual awakenings happening, confidence happening, people believing in themselves, people being inspired by you. That's when you know you are operating out of your purpose. When you walking through life, it's impacting people. Just you showing up on the scene motivates and inspires people. That's purpose. If people are not inspired by your life, you're moving in the wrong direction. It's number one indicator. Are people inspired when they're around you, or do people lose motivation when they're around you? It's one or the other. There's no in the middle. People are either inspired by your presence, or they lose inspiration because of your presence. Your purpose is the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. Purpose precedes assignment. Purpose precedes vision. Purpose precedes discipline. And whenever your purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. That's why all these people are walking around hurting themselves, because they don't know their purpose. That's why you do it. Whether you drinking, smoking, doing drugs, popping pills, whatever your gambling, porn, whatever your thing is, you're doing that because you don't know your purpose. You're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. And you don't know what to do with the voids that you feel internally. So you're trying to solve your internal problem from an external perspective. Because again, you're out of alignment. But you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. And you've been listening to all these other people, but everyone else that you're listening to only pushes you further and further away from the truth, because their truth can never be yours. No matter how knowledgeable they may be. This is why I coach and I teach my students how to go within. I don't tell them to follow me. No, follow you. Go internally. Go inside. Discover who you are. You can't discover who you are through me. Listening to my story won't unlock you. No matter how many times I tell it. And that's exactly what happens when people go to church. You go to church, you sit there and listen to this person tell you about all of these stories from all of these other people that lived during the time period that you didn't have access to. That's not going to unlock you. The same way that listening to me won't unlock you. It might motivate you, it might inspire you, but it won't unlock you. I don't give a damn whose story you listen to. It won't unlock you. Motivate you? Yes. Inspire you? Yes. Unlock you? No. It's not what it's, that's not the goal. Why? Because your story is the one that God created you to tell. We become masters at learning other people's stories, but not masters at healing ourselves from our own. Got all these people's stories in your mind, but we haven't mastered our own. One more time. Purpose precedes assignment. Purpose precedes vision. Purpose precedes discipline. And whenever purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. That includes self-abuse. When people don't know why they exist, they misuse their time. When people don't know why they exist, they misuse their energy. When people don't know why they exist, they misuse their bodies. Let me explain it simply. If you don't know the purpose of a phone, let's say you ain't never seen a phone in the history of your life. If you don't know the purpose of a phone, you might use the phone as a hammer. You don't know the purpose of it. You ain't never seen a phone in your life. You might use that phone as a hammer. You might use that phone as something to as a coaster to sit your drink on. Again, you don't know the purpose of it. So I would understand. Some of you guys are like the phone. You don't know the purpose of it. You don't know why God created you. You don't know what you're capable of, because you haven't discovered yourself that deeply. That's why self-awareness is so important. It's the only way that you can discover yourself. So one more time, if you don't know the purpose of a phone, you ain't never seen a phone in the history of your life, you might use it as a hammer. You might use it as a coaster to sit your drink on. So the phone didn't fail. The user lacked the understanding of what its purpose was. In the same way, many lives are damaged not because God failed, but because people live without understanding their purpose. It's not God's fault that we don't come to him. It's not his fault that we listen to all these other people. It's not his fault that we chase people for love. It's not his fault that we operate out of our programming and conditioning out of our ego personality because we don't have the discipline to put in the work to discover who we are. It's not his fault. He gave you free will. He's like, you can discover me or you don't have to. That part's up to you. So we run to the church. But 99% of the time, the person that's talking to you hasn't discovered themselves that deeply. They're just regurgitating what they read out of some book from some people that they have never met a day in their life. They ain't never met that person. They tell you nothing about the person. Can't tell you anything personal about them. Everything that they're saying to you is something that you can go discover for yourself. I don't need to listen to you for 2 or 3 hours. If all I'm gonna do is have you project what's in the book onto me, I can do that myself. But that still won't unlock you. Other people's stories were never designed to unlock you. Your story was. So you can listen to other people's stories all day long if you want to. If you want to be entertained by other people's stories, keep listening. But you ain't gonna never discover your purpose that way. I've not known a single person that discovered their purpose by listening to someone else's story. Not one. If you don't know anybody, I'll give you 50 years. You won't tell me a single person. So you can sit here and read all these books of the Bible and all of that, but that's not going to help you discover your purpose. Your purpose is not in that book. Your purpose is in you. And if you don't discover who you are, you'll never discover what it is. Give a damn how many books you read. That's the number one reason why when I wrote my book, I took myself out of it. That was mission number one. All of these powerful people I had around me. I was even talking to the CEO of Barnes & Noble at the time. Before I ever released my book, let me tell you what he told me. You need to tell your story. I said, I don't want to tell my story. I'm talking about the CEO of Barnes & Noble. That's what he told me. We sent him the book before the book anyone else had ever seen it, because someone that I'm connected to is connected to him. I don't have a relationship with him. I don't have a personal relationship with him, but I'm connected to some powerful people that do. So we just wanted his opinion on it. This is in the book was in. I mean, we had it typed up. It didn't look like this at the time. Number one thing he said, you need to tell the story. I said, no, that's the problem. That's the problem. People are so busy inserting themselves in these books and all these other things like that to where you never get the transformation. So I took a gamble. I said, damn, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna leave me out of it. So you won't find me in my book. The only thing you can find is you. But you will never find me. Not nowhere, not a single page. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You know, so when it comes, why? Because I was self-aware at the time that I wrote the book. I understood that you could not discover yourself by learning more about me. And that's exactly what you're doing when you read a lot of these religious texts. You're learning more about other people, but that won't unlock you. Will it make you more knowledgeable? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. But are you looking for knowledge, or are you looking for to discover your purpose? Because these are two different paths that you got to take. Join my community, Ginger. If you're really looking, that's what I would encourage you to do. Uh, I have an exclusive community that I'll talk about on the other side of this live. If you are genuinely interested in discovering your purpose, that's what I would recommend you do. Our community has produced over 30 life coaches. Our community has produced, people that have discovered their purpose. Our community has produced entrepreneurs. Our community has produced authors. Our community has produced all of these people that came in one way, like where you are right now, and transformed into something totally different, something so powerful that they became coaches themselves because they wanted to help other people, to become unlocked, like they've had an opportunity to become unlocked. Some of my students right now are so powerful that they should be doing TED Talks right now. They have become that powerful. And so that's what it's all about, but that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation for a different day. Deja's one of them. Yeah, Deja's one of them. Deja's one of them, and so that's what it's all about, But again, let me get back into this live. Discipline begins with purpose. Discipline begins with purpose. You will never discipline what you don't value. I said you will never discipline what you don't value. God created you to represent him on this earth. That's what you're going to discover. That's what your spiritual awakening is going to bring you to. That's what self-mastery is going to bring you to. That's what it's all about. God created you specifically, get out of groupthink. God created you specifically to represent him here on this earth, period. He gave you dominion over your physical body and everything that you create. Did he give you dominion over everything that he has created? No. He gave you dominion over your physical body and every single thing that you create. Here's the problem. We give our power away to other people. You hand the keys to your happiness to someone else. You hand your heart to someone else. We wait for people to come and save us. We wait for people to come and rescue us. We wait for people to come and put us back together again, even though you were never broken. That's the problem. We chase people. We chase love. We chase things. Never realizing and understanding that when you become the most powerful version of yourself, you're going to realize that you are already a master at manifesting anything you want. But you will never attract what you are not the vibrational frequency of. That's the problem. You're not operating on the same vibrational frequency as the life that you want, as the things that you want. Why? Because you're still operating from lower mind. What is lower mind? Your ego personality, your programming and conditioning, your pain, your past traumas, who you think you are, the masks that you wear, your reputation, your persona. That's all lower mind. But most importantly, ego, higher mind is spiritual awakening. Higher mind, unconditional love. Higher mind, abundance. Higher mind, happiness. Higher mind, joy, peace. It's all higher mind. I only operate from higher mind. Lower mind can only receive the benefits from higher mind when you have your spiritual awakening. And a spiritual awakening is the moment that you integrate lower mind and higher mind together because they both serve a function. It's all about integration because lower mind carries all of your dark. Dark meaning your pain, dark meaning the childhood traumas, dark meaning everything that's went wrong in your life is operates from lower mind. Even though nothing wrong has ever happened in your life, but you won't understand that right now until you have a spiritual awakening. So it would be pointless for me to even speak on that right now. That's why the community is important, because you'll understand all of that. You'll understand that you don't lose people. Never lost a person in your life. What you lose is the version of yourself that attracted that person into your life to begin with. That's what we lose. You can never lose what was never yours. I tell you guys this all the time. The most dangerous word in the English language is mine. M-I-N-E. The moment that you say something is mine, you slip back into lower mind. You slip into ego personality. Let me qualify that for you. Think about a 2 or 3-year-old child. When that 2 or 3-year-old child, when they first learn how to speak, one of the first words they say is mine. They may say mommy, they may say daddy, and right after that, here comes mine. And their whole rest of their life, that's what they're focused on, mine. Try to tear something away from them after they say mine, and watch what happens. You'll see a side to them that will blow your mind. But adults are no different. Adults are just like that child. The moment that you say mine, you disconnect yourself from reality. Just think about that 2 or 3-year-old baby that's carrying that doll or that toy that they've already labeled as mine. You cannot tear them away from it, right? Well, the adults are no different. The moment you say something is mine, even though that person is not yours, the moment you say something is yours, you go blind. You only see the person through your attachment. You only see the person through your clinging. You only see the person through your need. And anyone that threatens that need, you become violent. You become a shell of yourself. Somebody of the opposite sex walks up, you get jealous, you become insecure. The person never belonged to you. The person was something you got to experience, but the moment you placed that mind label on it, it was over. All right, let's get busy getting busy. One more time, God created you to represent him here on this earth, period. That's why you're here. You don't know what your purpose is. That's why you're here. Somehow, some way, people just don't know that. Even though religion has been around since the beginning of the time, people don't know that and they don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. If religion is this powerful thing, why don't people know that? I'm asking you a straight question. I just want a straight answer. If religion is this powerful thing that people claim it to be, why don't people know that? Why isn't that being shouted from every mountaintop in every country and on every continent? That's why he created you. He had any other reason to create you. He created you to be a representation of him. The same way when you go and you sell in a house, anybody that's ever sold a house is going to understand what I'm saying. When you get ready to sell your house, what do? You go and you get the best real estate agent you can find. And when you get the real estate agent, that real estate agent is a representative of that particular property. He or she is going to walk through that property and find all of the perks, all of the benefits, all of the features of that particular house. And then they're going to go and promote that to every potential buyer there is. God is like the house. You are like the real estate agent. So when people come in contact with you, you telling them about how amazing he is, everything that he's been for your life, how you've been transformed, how you become the most powerful version of you, everything that he's been for you and what he means to you. You representing his interests at that time, not your own. The same thing with the real estate agent. The real estate agent would be representing the best interest of that home at the time. She ain't gonna tell you about her house, because that's not gonna benefit you in that moment. So it just doesn't make sense to me. If we've got all of these things that claim to be so powerful, then why don't people understand that basic truth? That's basic truth. That's one-on-one of self-awareness. We ain't even talking about nothing special. It's basic. God didn't create me to represent me. He created me to represent him. Period. But we don't understand that. So what do? We go out in the world and we represent ourselves. That's where all your suffering is coming from. We go out in the world and we represent ourselves. We represent our past and we represent our achievements and we represent our success and we represent our money and we represent our level of education. We go out representing ourselves. One more time. Yeah, but again, I don't blame people. I don't blame people for not understanding that, because 9 times out of 10, your parents weren't self-aware, and 9 times out of 10, your parents weren't emotionally intelligent, and 9 times out of 10, your parents weren't masters of self. So I don't blame you for what you don't know. See, emotional intelligence means that I don't hold you accountable for things that I once didn't know at one point in time. There was a time when I lacked emotional intelligence. There was a time when I lacked self-awareness. There was a time when I lacked self-mastery. So how can I hold you accountable for you not knowing when there was a time when I didn't know? And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Right? That's what emotional intelligence means. This is why I tell you guys, stop focusing on what people say to you. Stop focusing on their criticisms. Stop focusing on what they're projecting onto you. Stop focusing on what they think you are. It doesn't matter. The person is showcasing the fact that they lack emotional intelligence, because the person that's emotionally intelligent would want to understand who you are at your essence. They would not project anything onto you, because they would understand that they're going to contaminate what you are the moment that they project their thoughts onto you. I just contaminated the whole situation. That's what the emotional intelligent person knows. So when I'm walking out through the world and I meet people and I meet their anger before I meet their love. I meet their fear before I meet their love. I meet their depression before I meet their love. I see them where they are. I meet them where they are. I don't project anything onto the moment, because they're like a road closed sign. Think about it. When you're driving down the freeway, you're just driving down the freeway, and you're taking your normal routine home, your normal path. And you go to get off on your exit, but they got all of these huge barricades up. With the flashing orange lights, and they're letting you know the road is closed. The off-ramp is closed. You can't get off here. You have never gotten out of your car and removed the barricades so that you can get off on the off-ramp, because you know that there's danger up ahead. I don't have to know you personally, and I know you have never done that. But that's what people are. People are like walking road closed signs. They're telling you what they are. They're telling you that there's danger here. Through my anger, through my rage, through my depression, through my unhappiness, I'm telling you, if you stay on this road, you're going to be in trouble. But you don't listen, because you're so busy trying to prove your worth to this person. And I'm a man of principle. I'm going to show you. No, what you're showcasing is your lack of emotional intelligence. That's the only thing you're showcasing, is the fact that you don't know who you are. And then you become a reflection of the situation. Now you're an extension of the problem. The person was already in trouble. That's what they showed you. Their anger said, I'm on fire. The depression said, I'm on fire. Their unhappiness said, I'm on fire. What are you holding them accountable for? They already in trouble. They were already in that state before they encountered you. And they can only give you what was in them at the time. If they had love to give, they would have gave it to you. People can only give you what they carry. They can't give you what's missing in them. You mad at the person because they couldn't give you something that they weren't in possession of. That's emotional intelligence. And what's worse is you've been them before, but maybe they've never been you. Being them before meaning that you've been depressed before, and you've been angry before, and you've been frustrated before, and you wanted people to give you grace, but you don't give it to that person. That's emotional intelligence. That's what God is saying. Give people what I give you. When you're depressed, I give you love. When you're unhappy, I give you love. When you're frustrated, I give you love. When you're doubting yourself, I give you love. Give them what I give you when you're not operating at your best, when you're not firing on all cylinders. I don't treat you like that, but you treat my children like that. Make it make sense. I appreciate the gifts, beloved. Elaine, I appreciate you, beloved. Do me a favor real quick and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories, please, if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Thank you. I appreciate that for everyone that has done that. Thank you, Elma. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. Moni, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. You know, we got to do the work on our own over here. So let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. Let's share the live to the stories. You know, again, God created you specifically to be the evidence of what He is, and sometimes your purpose in life is just to be is just that. Sometimes your purpose in life is just to be the evidence of everything He is. Sometimes your purpose in life, you know, is to be a reflection of everything that He has been for you. That's why I go to war for Him. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. That's why I go up against a pack of wild lions for Him. That's why I go up against a whole mob of people for Him, because He's been too much for me. And to fall on the sword for Him would be an honor. To fall on the sword for Him would be an honor. I'd be honored to fall on the sword for everything that, and He's never given up on me. For all the stuff that I've done, all the problems that I've caused, all the pain that I've caused, all the suffering that I've caused for me not knowing who I am. Never gave up on me. He's never given up on you. Never. People might have given up on you. Environments may have given up on you. Certain situations and circumstances may have let you down, but He's never let you down. All He's saying is be a reflection of me. Stop trying to be a reflection of the world. If I wanted you to look like the world, I would have created you to be a reflection of that. I created you to be a reflection of me, an extension of me, so that when people meet you, they feel like they met me. That's what love is. And we don't understand that. Love is your ability to give people God through you. That's what love is, because that's what He is. So anytime you're giving someone love, you're giving them God through you. Whether that's some creature, whether that's some plant, whether that's some person, whether that's some situation. Anytime that you give someone love, you are giving them God through you. The love doesn't come from you. It's not generated by you. It's not created by you. So therefore, you should have no problem giving it away. Don't cost you nothing. Doesn't cost you anything. Well, coach, what about when they're mean? What about when you mean? Does God stop giving it to you? What about when they're disrespectful? What about when you're disrespectful? Does he stop giving it to you? I'm just asking. Tell me what day of the week it was when he turned it off on you. Tell me what day of the week it was when he didn't show up for you. Tell me what day of the week it was when he didn't love you. Tell me what day of the week it was when he stopped believing in you, even though you were depressed, even though you were unhappy, even though you were frustrated. Tell me what day of the week it was when he took his hand off you. Let me tell you why he didn't do it. He didn't do it because he understood that that was only a moment in time. He understood that you were out of alignment. That's what he understood. The same thing happens to that person. The person's out of alignment. They're not operating from their highest and best self at that moment. They're out of alignment. That's what the person is letting you know. They're out of alignment. What you blaming them for? They're already suffering. You hurting the person that's already hurt. That's what sin and awareness means. Sin and awareness means that you are out of alignment with your highest and best self. That's what it means. He knows that. He knows the moment that you become disconnected from him. He knows that. And anything that you do from that moment, you will not be held accountable for. Why? Because he knows that you're not operating from your highest and best self. If you were in alignment with your highest and best self, you would have never did what you did. He knows that. I don't give a damn what some Bible told you what sin is. That's not what sin is. Sin in awareness means that you are out of alignment with your highest and best self, that you are detached or disconnected from God in that moment. Nothing is worse than that. I'll give you 50 years. You can't tell me a single thing that's worse than you being disconnected from God mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Nothing's worse than that. But people wanted to trick you into believing that it was some other thing, that you need to earn God's love and you need to climb it. You need to go through me to get to him and all this other stuff like that. You've been lied to. Just flat out. And that's people's way of being able to control you. As long as you think you needed them, you could be controlled. You could be manipulated. You could be lied to. Period. See, I want you to think about a wall. I want you to think about the biggest wall you have ever seen in your life. This wall is massive. And you're on one side of the wall, and God is on the other. But there's this man. And you're unhappy, you stressed out, you depressed at the time. So the man comes to you. The man says, "What's wrong?" He said, "Well, I'm stressed out, I'm depressed, my life isn't going away. I need to talk to God." So the man says, "Okay, let me go and tell him." The man runs around the corner, has a conversation with God, comes back. "Okay, do this, do that, do this, do that." You leave, you go home, you feel good. Next day you come back. "Oh man, this is wrong, and this is happening in my relationship, and all these other things." The man said, "Okay, let me go talk to God." He runs around the corner, go have a conversation with God. He comes back. God said, "Do this, do that, do this, do that." You say, "Okay." You take the formula, you go home, boom, everything's good. Week later, you come back. "Man, I lost my job, and I lost my wife, and I lost this and that." The man says, "Okay, let me go talk to God." He runs around the corner, go have a conversation with God. He comes back. God said to go do this. Let me tell you what God really told the man. Break the damn wall down. That's what he told him. He said, break the wall down. I don't need you to be a middleman for me. I don't need you to talk to anybody for my son with me. Let me talk to him. I don't need an interpreter here. That's religion. Religion is like the man that keeps running around the corner to the man to go have that conversation. God said, break the wall down. I'm going to break you down. Make a choice. That's religion. Let me go talk to him for you. Whole time, God telling the man, break the wall down. He ain't never told the man to tell you nothing. God put it on my heart to tell you this, and God put it on my heart to tell you that, and God put it on my heart. Every time somebody say that, that's spiritual manipulation. God lives in you. Anything that he needs you to know, he gonna tell you. And every now and then, he'll send somebody into your life that will motivate you, that will inspire you, that will help to unlock you, that will help to push you in a particular direction. But any conversation that he needs to have with you, he's going to have it with you, or he's going to set that person in your path. Somebody that he knows won't manipulate you, somebody that he trusts, somebody that he knows is going to love you unconditionally and not take advantage of you. Break the wall down. It only exists in your mind. Break the wall down. It's only a thought you're entertaining. Break the wall down. Period. One more time, God created you to represent him here on this earth. God gave you dominion over your physical body. Stop letting people disrespect it. Stop letting people verbally abuse you. Stop letting people disrespect you. Stop letting people take advantage of you. Stop showing up small to your own life. Stop being the co-pilot in your own life. Stop handing people the keys to who you are. Stop believing and thinking that love exists outside of you. You are the human manifestation of love. You will never find what you are outside of you. Ever. Dominion means responsibility. He gave you dominion. Dominion means responsibility, beloved. It means responsibility. It means me starting with honoring the first asset that he gave me, which is my physical body. I got to honor that. I don't give a damn if I got to sleep in the park by myself. I will be sleeping in the park by myself. Before I sleep and wake up next to a person that's physically abusing me, I will sleep in the park on a bench. Before I allow a single person to disrespect the gift that he gave me, I fall on that sword. Ain't got no problem. He gonna send somebody, I can guarantee it. That's the problem. You ain't got no trust in it. That's the real problem right there. Some of you guys are in situations right now where you're so terrified to leave the situation, but what you're really signaling to God is that I don't trust the situation. I don't really have trust. I don't really have faith. So what do? You settle for a life that you don't love. And all he's saying is that if you would walk away, I got you, but he can't get you because you won't walk away. You too worried about, you too busy trying to predict what might happen next. You in his lane. So he's like, I can't help you because you won't let me help you. All that fear you have is from you trying to predict the situation, the outcome of the situation. All that anxiety you're experiencing is coming from you trying to predict the outcome of the situation. You weren't wired for that. You were wired to have trust and faith in him. That's what you wired for. And anytime that you're out of alignment with that, anxiety, worry, fear, stress, those are all indicators that you're not trusting. Those are all indicators that you're not believing. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same moment. Pick a side. God created you to dominate your life, not to be dominated by it. I'm telling you, some of you guys are in situations right now. I'm going to the park. I'm letting him know on the way. I'm on the way to the park, guy. It's gonna be me and the bench. I'll be on the bench. It's gonna be me and the bench. I promise you, he gonna change that situation. But you ain't gonna never discover that because your trust isn't where it needs to be. When it comes to him, I jump off the cliff and then I build my wings on the way down. That's how much belief I have in him. That is how much faith I have in him. Anytime I get to a situation, I'm jumping. Because I know he ain't gonna let me hit the ground. That's the problem. You can't have all this fear in your life and say you know him at the same time. You can't have all this fear in your life and say you love him at the same time. Those two things don't go together. Something's not true there. I appreciate the gifts, you guys. I appreciate the gifts, beloved. No, I'm jumping off the cliff and I'm going to build my wings on the way down. I'm walking through life with absolute certainty, absolute conviction, at 5-star belief, 5-star love. I'm not worried about anything. I don't lose anything. You don't lose when it comes to him. You will never lose the best you ever had when it comes to God. The best you ever had is what's on the way. What you getting ready to walk away from only prepared you for the best that you're going to have. And you look at each moment with present moment freshness. What does that mean? Listen. Your job is to bring love to the world, not to allow the world to change the way you love. For some of you guys, that's where you are. One more time. Your job is to bring love to the world, not to allow the world to blacken your heart and harden your heart to such a degree to where the world has changed the way you love. Because now you're a reflection of the love that we get from the world versus the love that other people get from God. That love is ugly because that love that comes from the world is conditional. It's conditional. It's transactional. You don't want that in your life. You don't want transactional love in your life. Well, the only reason why people love you is because they benefit you or you bringing some value to their lives or there's somehow, some way they're getting something from you. Even if it's only entertainment, even if it's they get to vent to you, even if it's whatever the case may be, all this transactional love that you got in your life. You got to get all that transactional love out of your life, man. You have to, because it's going against your nature. It goes against your nature. It goes against the very nature of what you are. You are unconditional love personified. So how you operate in an environment where there's conditional love there? That's where all that pain is coming from. Pain shows up when love leaves. It's the number one indicator. When there's pain there, there's no love. When there's love there, there's no pain. So you got any pain in your life right now, it's because love is absent. Even if it's the love you have for yourself. Pain shows up when love leaves. That's what it's there to let you know. Pain is its own form of intelligence. It's there to let you know, wake up. What are you doing here? What are you hanging on to? What are you pretending not to see? Anytime I step on the scene, love's been gone. That's what pain is there to let you know. Love been gone. What you hanging around for? Love is not here anymore. I know that's what you signed up for in the beginning, but love is not here anymore. The moment I show up, it's because love has been gone. Love been packed up and left. When you got tears, love is not there. You got all that anxiety, love is not there. You got all this unhappiness, love is not there. You got all of this confusion and chaos and drama going on, love is not there. Somebody pretending is there. Someone pretending to love you. That's what's there. But love is the absence of pain. And pain is the absence of love. One more time. Love is the absence of pain. And pain is the absence of love. That should be your compass that you move through the world with. When there's pain there, just put yourself in park. I didn't say you need to start a fight. I didn't say you need to become combative. Just put yourself in park and you'll see it. Look back over your life and you'll see it. You'll see it, beloved. You'll see it. Pain is the absence of love, and love is the absence of pain. What's up, Juliet? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you. Again, do me a favor real quick, you guys, before we get back in it. Do me a favor real quick and share the live to your stories. Do me a favor real quick and share the live to your stories. If you could, I appreciate that, especially if you're new. Share the live to your stories. Let's get the lights up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Let me see how we're looking. Okay, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. We are doing just fine. So real quick, dominion means responsibility, rulership, stewardship, leadership. Dominion requires responsibility. Dominion requires discipline. You cannot manage anything well without discipline. See, that's what nobody's ever told us. Listen, beloved. People always ask, what's the secret to life? I'm going to tell you. People ask, what's the key to life? Here's the thing. The life that you want doesn't come with a key. There's a combination lock. There's no key. There's just a combination lock. Self-love, that's a number. Self-respect, that's a number. You showing up for yourself, that's a number. You working out consistently, that's a number. You being disciplined, that's a number. You loving yourself, that's a number. You believing in yourself, that's a number. You staying focused on your mission, that's a number. Self-awareness, that's a number. Self-mastery, that's a number. When you combine all of the numbers, it opens the lock. The life that you want doesn't come with a key. It comes with a combination, meaning that there's no one thing that you need to do. There's a combination of things. And when you put all of the combination of things together in a sequence, beloved, it unlocks the lock. Some of you guys are struggling because you might just be doing one thing. You might be doing this thing. And that's the reason why the lock stays locked for you. Right? Special Grace, I see you, beloved. What's up, beloved? So when you understand there's no key, because a key implies one thing. Think about a door, right? A key is just going to go in, it's going to unlock the door. It's going to be automatic. That's a key. Combination is different. Combination, there's some things you got to do. Right? When you walk to your front door and you put the key in and you turn that, right? That's just one thing. And boom, the door is open. Okay, well, self-mastery and self-awareness and success, they don't work like the key to your front door. There's no key. It's just a combination. And when you put the combination of things together, it's automatic. Right? It's automatic. See, here's what you got to understand. If discipline is not optional when it comes to God, how can it be optional when it comes to you? Think about what I'm saying, beloved. If it's not optional when it comes to God, even he has to be disciplined. Look at how disciplined he is in your life. So if he has to operate underneath that law, how can you not? What made you exempt? That's what's hurting us. Again, discipline is spiritual intelligence at the highest level. In a way that you can't even imagine. That's why we're getting ready to finish diving into this. So again, if discipline is not optional when it comes to God, then it can never be optional when it comes to you. Discipline is protection for your purpose. That's why you need it. Boundaries preserve destiny. Discipline is not restriction. Discipline is direction. Discipline tells your life where to go and what to avoid. That's why you need it. Some of you guys have some things that you need to avoid that you're not avoiding. Some of you guys are loyal to the very things that are hurting you the most. Some of you guys, when it comes to your heart needs to catch up to what God's mind already knows. So we cling to this person and we're attached to this person and we chase this person because God knows things that your heart hasn't discovered as of yet. And that's why we suffer. Without discipline, your potential is leaking. Without discipline, your vision dies. Let me define discipline clearly so we don't ever have a misunderstanding. Discipline is the ability to delay pleasure, control impulses, manage time, and submit desires into purpose. Let me say that one more time. Discipline is the ability to delay pleasure, control your impulses, manage your time, and submit your desires into purpose. Discipline is self-government. And self-government is the highest form of leadership. If you cannot lead yourself, you are not qualified to lead someone else. How you gonna lead somebody else if you can't lead you? And one more time, God gave you dominion over your body. Discipline is self-government. But we jump in these relationships and somebody programmed and conditioned us that you're supposed to surrender to this man and surrender to this person over here and surrender to this one. How you gonna do that and govern yourself at the same time? Because we're listening to people that are programmed and conditioned. We're listening to people that are making all of these rules from lower mind. Surrender your life, get married and surrender, then you follow this person. But God is saying, wait, no, I gave you so that you can govern yourself. Discipline is self-government. How you gonna do that if you follow somebody else? And what's worse is the gift that you carry might be infinitely more powerful than the gift that your significant other is carrying. Way more powerful. Your purpose is not their purpose. Now, I'm all about relationships, but I'm also in a relationship with someone that I understand that her purpose is unique. It's not my purpose. The only thing I'm going to do is get behind her purpose. Whatever you need me to be. You need me to play a role for you. You need me to cheer for you. You need me to clap for you. You need me to be quiet for you. Whatever you need me to be, I'll be that for you. But I will not get in the way. I don't want to govern you. It's not my job in your life. My role in your life is to be a companion so that you can land your plane where it needs to go and so that I can land mine. We get to fly together like two F-16s. But I don't want to control her life because her life does not belong to me. I get to benefit. That's enough. God damn, that's enough. Do you know how this control? The very person that want to control your life has no control over their own. Because those are the only people that would want to control you. The person that lacks self-awareness wants to control you because everybody's chasing power. When you lack self-awareness, you chase power. You want to control people. You want to rule people. You trying to lead somebody's life and you can't lead your own. Want somebody to follow you. You don't know where you're going. And that's what we do. We jump in these relationships. You follow someone that has never been and can't take you to where you are supposed to be going. There's a certain place that God wants you to go, that this person is not equipped to take you there. We done lost the whole focus on what a relationship is about. The relationship is a spiritual container where I get to work on my wounds. I get to work on my flaws. I get to work on my imperfections in an environment that's safe, in an environment where there's real love, in an environment where there's no judgment, in an environment where my partner gets to do the same, and we get to do life, and we get to grow, and we get to evolve, and we get to experience the world. But I understand that she's on her own unique mission and I'm on mine. But we get to do life together. That's healthy love. We got all this fighting going on, all this warring going on, all this projecting my bad day onto you, all of this, you need to follow me, and I'm the man, and you're supposed to be the hell or no. Who told you that? Her gift might be more important than mine. What am I going to do? Get in the way. I get to benefit off the gift that she brings to this world. That's enough. It's enough. I'm not going to get in the way of what God has planned for her life. I'm not going to get in the way of that. That's not my business. My job is to support her. Your man's job, your woman's job is to support you so that you can bring your gift and your purpose to the world more effectively, more efficiently. Ain't gonna do that. You got all this fighting going on. People don't know who they are. I need you to be my happiness. I need you to be my entertainment. I need you to be my joy. I need you to be my coach. I need you to be the therapist. Pump me up. I'm not working on myself. So I need you to tell me who I am. What are we doing here? I'm just being real. People don't know what relationships are for. People can't tell you what a relationship is for. I can promise you, 9 out of 10 people, I'm not talking about any of you guys. 9 out of 10 people can't tell you what a relationship is for. They got no clue. We think it's about date nights and binge watching Netflix and going to parties and having babies and all of these other things like that. That's the number one reason why they fall apart. Because if you going back to purpose, if you don't know the purpose of something, you can't value it. How can you place value on something that you don't know the purpose of? Most men walking around right now are walking around under the mindset that a relationship means that this woman is supposed to follow me, surrender to me, do what I say do. I'm telling you now, 9 out of 10 men, that's exactly the mindset that they have. You don't know who the fuck you are. How you gonna tell her who she is? How you gonna help her to discover herself? And you ain't met yourself that deeply. You holding the steering wheel of who she is, holding the steering wheel of who you are, and you don't know who you are. So you can't take her anywhere. The only thing you can do is take her further away from who she really is. Because you need her to cook something for you. You need her to clean something for you. You need her to watch something for you. You need her to stay out with the kids so you can go out and discover the world. Bring all your stress back home. Bring all your pain back home. Bring all my boss got on me, but I didn't have the courage to say what I needed to say to him. So I'm going to take it out on you. That's what most men have been programmed and conditioned to believe. She mine. I told you about that word mine. My trophy, my wife. Do what I say do. I don't have chains on my relationships. I don't have a single chain on my relationship. My woman is free as a bird. She might be here today. She might be in Africa tomorrow. Got all them chains and restrictions. Why? Because I'm not insecure. Because I've done the work on myself. All of that comes from insecurities. All of that comes from that childhood trauma. I tell you guys this, what hurt the little boy has shaped the grown man. What hurt the little boy has shaped the grown man. Most grown men are just these big bodies with this little boy trapped inside. And the little boy is making all the decisions. What hurt that little boy has shaped that grown man. That's why I tell you guys, time heals nothing. We don't heal through our time. We heal through awareness. We don't heal through time. We heal through our pain. But if you run it from the pain, you're not going to heal. If you avoid the pain, you're not going to heal. Time doesn't heal anything. Time has never healed anything. People, that's the lie somebody told you. Oh, time heals everything. Time doesn't heal anything. Time moves through you. Awareness heals things. Emotional intelligence heals things. Self-mastery heals things. Me discovering who I really am is what heals things. But time doesn't do that. Time is like a radio. Imagine listening to your favorite song. When you listen to your favorite song, let's just say the phone rings. You hit pause. When you hit pause, you might walk and go out and spend the rest of your day, leave the house, go shopping, go to the mall, go have lunch with your friend. When you come back and you hit the pause button again, the song is gonna start right where it was. Okay, that's time. When that little boy got hurt, it was the equivalent of somebody hitting the pause button. And time went on, their life went on, the day went on, but nobody ever addressed the pause button. The pause button never got addressed. Self-awareness is going to hit the pause button so that we can deal with the pain. Emotional intelligence is going to release the pause button so that we can deal with the pain. But if nobody's ever released the pause button, time doesn't do that. So the person can be 50 years old, but still think like a 15-year-old. 60 years old, but still thinking like a 17-year-old. Why? Because that's when the injury happens. Whatever the age is that the injury happens, that's where their emotional intelligence stopped. That's where their awareness stopped. That's where their maturity stopped. So a person can be grown as hell, but still function like the 10-year-old, like the 12-year-old, like whatever that age was when the injury first occurred, because that's when their authenticity got cracked. That's when their authenticity got fractured. They stopped growing at that time. Why? Because an emotion hit them that was so powerful, they didn't know what to do. So they froze up. That's how it works. So time didn't heal anything. Think about what I'm saying. You are the qualifier for that. Some of you guys are dealing with pain right now that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If time heals things, why aren't you healed then? That should be the qualifier for you right there. Some of you guys had an injury that happened, maybe even when you were a little girl, you were a little boy, that you're still dealing with right now. You still haven't recovered from that. Why? Because you didn't get the answer that you needed. You didn't, whatever it is somebody told you didn't make sense to you. Or you didn't feel comfortable talking to anybody about it, so you just suppressed it. You never dealt with it. But now you're a grown woman. But that wound still bothers you today. And not only that, that wound has shaped who you are in this moment. Some of your decisions have come from that. Some of the way that you show up in relationships have come from that. The way that you love was shaped by that. What you accept or tolerate from other people was shaped by that. The love you give for yourself, you give to yourself, or the lack thereof, was shaped by that. But time didn't heal you. So if it didn't heal you, how to heal him? It doesn't heal anything, beloved. It doesn't heal anything. Only awareness does. But that's the beautiful thing, because your pain brought you here, right? The trauma brought you here. It brought you to this moment. Spirit brought you here, not the FYP. The spirit brought you here because there's something here that you need, something here that your spirit needs. That's why you're here in this moment. I'm telling you, you think you're here because you just stumbled across this live. No, your spirit was like, you need to go listen because it's time for you to heal. And I can't become unlocked until you heal. That's why I celebrate the men on this platform. What's up, Kev? So good to see you. That's why I celebrate the men on this platform, because they are doing the work. And ladies, I want you guys to celebrate all of the men that you see that show up consistently, because they are doing the work. That's how we heal this planet. We don't heal this planet by women becoming more self-aware. We heal this planet by the men becoming more self-aware, because we are the ones that are in control of all of these things that are happening in the world, where all this violence and these wars and all this destruction and all of this stuff like that is happening. Yes, I want women to become self-aware. Don't get me wrong. But I really want the men to become emotionally intelligent, because we've been programmed and conditioned to suppress our feelings, to run from our feelings, to not want to be vulnerable in public because it's a sign of weakness. We were taught to say it with your chest and Boys don't cry, men don't cry. So what do you think all that emotion is going? Most men are suffering from samskara. What's samskara? Bottled up negative emotion that you've never released. So most men are like a volcano. At any point in time, they might erupt. Any little thing might set that man off. That man just going to erupt because he's got so much suppressed pain. Because we were never allowed to show our emotion. We were taught that we would be weak. You're a sissy, but boys don't cry. What do you mean? Say it with your chest. All this other stuff like that. All of that programming and conditioning that we got from other men that lack self-awareness. So you got this little boy that has grown up to become this man that has never expressed his emotions. So I hear some of you guys saying be vulnerable, but we were taught that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. Come on, we can't have it both. We can't have it both ways. We either get to be vulnerable, we're going to be attacked by every man. The women might love that, but the men we're going to be rejected by the men. So we're going to lose at the end of the day. Any way you look at it, we're going to lose. We're going to either be rejected by the men and accepted by the women, or rejected by the women and accepted by the men. Which one do you want us to do? That's the world we live in. The women love our vulnerability. The men reject it. Oh man, you being too sensitive. Man, come on, man, all that sensitivity. That's what we're gonna get told. I'm just being honest with you here. So you can't blame your man because he doesn't know how to express his feelings. You can't blame him for that. That's his programming and conditioning. You can't blame him for that no more than you can blame a wild lion for being what it is. I guarantee you ain't gonna walk up and pet that wild lion. Why? Because you know that wild lion is programmed and conditioned to see you a different way. Ain't no different than a man. He's been programmed and conditioned to move through the world a certain way. That's why men excel the way they do. That's why we build things. Why? Because these things give us the ability to drown out our pain. They give us we lose ourselves in these projects. We lose ourselves at our jobs. We lose ourselves. And when I say lose ourselves, I don't mean literally. I mean, we lose ourselves in terms of we're able to escape it. It's a healthy distraction for us. That's why we thrive in the world. But then he comes home to you and he doesn't know how to be what you naturally are. He doesn't know how to be that. That's you. Women grew up, you guys have the ability to naturally be what you are. You guys don't have a problem crying. You'll cry anywhere, cry on a dime. We don't get to do that. When people see a woman crying, the world takes notice. When people see a man cry, the world gets worried. Two completely different reactions. I'm telling you, Sefe, it's the realest thing I could ever tell you. When a woman cries, the world will take notice. Everybody's wondering, what do we need to do? The moment that man cries, everybody's looking like, we don't know what he getting ready to do, because that's the program that is. I'm just qualifying what I'm saying. That's all I'm doing. I'm just qualifying what I'm saying. Yeah, and I believe you, beloved. I believe that you were taught to suppress your feelings, as a woman. But what I'm saying is that even if you express your feelings, it's going to be totally socially acceptable. Like nobody would see that as being something wrong if you express your feelings in the world. I'm not talking about around your circle of friends. I'm talking about the people out in the world. Nobody would see it. In fact, people would stop like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" In the world. But when it comes to men, this is globally. We're not talking about something that's just happening in one particular part of the world. We're talking about in every culture. This is why, because fathers raise their sons to be tough. If you were a little boy and you were all in touch with your feminine side, they thought something was wrong with you, especially during my generation. They thought something was wrong with you. Thought something was wrong with you. And any man that's on this platform right now knows exactly what I'm saying. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Yeah, that part right there, T Benz. That part, he know it's we gonna get labeled. You know what I mean? It's we just can't win for losing. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Yeah, it's a double standard. It's a double standard. Um, Let me say this to you guys. God did not remove you from the person. God did not remove that person from your life so that you could spend years trying to prove your worth to the person. I said, God did not remove that person from your life so that you could spend years trying to prove your worth to the very person that he removed. Beware of your own desires and unmet needs so that you don't settle for less because you were too impatient to wait for better. Your job is to be in alignment with God's path for your life. That's the only goal we have. Because when I'm in alignment with his path for my life, everything comes that I need. Stop wasting your time to get someone to love you that has already fumbled you once. Person fumbled you the first time. Stop focusing on what you need to be for other people and start paying closer attention to what you need to be for God. That's alignment. Be so accepting of the fact that God closed that door and he removed that situation to protect you. This is awareness. I don't fight anything. Whatever door gets closed, it just gets closed. Person never belonged to me anyways. So what did I lose? See, when you get what you want, that's God's direction. But when you don't get what you want, that's his protection. And that's what you have to understand. We don't complain when we get what we want. That's his direction. But the moment that we don't get what we want, we don't understand that it's God's protection. So we call it a loss. We look at it like it's a loss. He sees things that you don't see. He hears conversations that you don't hear. And he made a move in your life that he knew you wouldn't make. Yeah, he gave you the time. But at some point in time, he saw that you were not going to make that move. So he made the move. Own that and move forward with your life and stop focusing on what's behind you. Doesn't matter what's behind you now. What matters is what's coming. We suffer because we're so focused on what's gone. We're so focused on what left that we neglect what stayed. I tell you guys this all the time. If it broke your heart but opened your eyes, God calls that a win. If it broke your heart but opened your eyes, God calls that a win. Pain that teaches you isn't a loss. It's growth. And they may have broken your heart, but that pain was so heavy that it's what brought you to God. That pain was so heavy is that it's what's going to lead you to you becoming the most powerful version of yourself. That's what pain does. One more time. When love is pain is anytime that we're experiencing pain, it's because love is no longer in the building. That's why the pain is there. Once you become a master of self, you'll quickly understand that. Love is there, there's no pain. The pain is there, there's no love, right? And you're going to see it. Again, if it broke your heart but opened your eyes, God calls that a win. And the moment that your mindset is in alignment with His, you will see it as a win as well. That's when everything changes. And here's what you need to understand. Pain will leave your body once it's done teaching you. If the pain is still in your life right now, it's because there's something that you haven't learned, something that you haven't let go of, something that you're still clinging to, something that you're attached to. Pain will not leave your life until it's done teaching you what it came to teach you. The pain in your life is a messenger. It's revealing where your boundaries don't exist. It's revealing where unconditional love doesn't exist. When pain is there, love is not. Period. The greatest version of you isn't created by motivation. The greatest version of you will be created by your pain. Pain is what built me, not motivation. Pain built me, not inspiration, not the Bible. Pain. The pain in your life is there because it refuses to let you stay where you are. Pain shows up when you tolerate disrespect. Pain shows up when you tolerate abuse of any kind. Pain shows up when you're out of alignment with your highest and best self. That's when the pain shows up. So, other reason for it to come. See, the pain in your life is not there to punish you. It's there to propel you away from something that's weighing you down, to propel you away from something that no longer adds value to you, to propel you away from something that doesn't place the same level of value on you that you place on yourself. That's what the pain is there to teach you. Something is no longer placing value on you, but you hanging on to the thing. No, beloved, the pain didn't make you cry for years. You hanging on to the person that caused the pain to begin with is what made you cry for years. We got to live in the truth here now. We're going to live. Let's live in the truth. She said the pain made her cry for years. That's not true. You hanging on to the very thing that caused that pain to begin with is what made you cry for years. You not being willing to let go of the thing that caused the pain is what made you cry for years. Pain didn't see, here's the thing. Pain is never the problem because pain is neutral. It's the story you create around the pain that hurts you. It's the identity you create around the pain that hurts you. It's the fact that whatever you were hanging on to at that time was the number one indicator that there was no self-love in you. That's what hurt you. There was no self-respect in you. That's what hurt you because you can't claim to love yourself and cling to what's hurting you at the same time. Those two things just don't even go together. I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you that I've got all this 5-star love for myself, but I'm clinging to this person that's disrespecting me. I can't sit here and tell you I've got all this 5-star love for myself, but I'm hanging on to someone that's abusing me. I'm hanging on to someone that I have to walk on eggshells around. I'm hanging on to someone that gives me less than I deserve. But I love me. You would look at me like I lost my mind. You would look at me like I lost my mind. I would expect you to. Pain comes when we are ignorant of our true nature. Pain comes when we cling to things and we become attached to things, and we think we can't be happy without the thing. We think we can't be happy without this person. We think we can't enjoy life if we don't have this person in it. All of that's going to bring you pain because none of that's true. All of that's false, hard false, a special kind of false, not just regular false, a special kind of false. Some of you guys are moving through life with a special kind of false. God is the only thing that can sustain you, nothing else. And that's the most beautiful thing in the history of beautiful things. And nobody has ever told us that. He is the only thing. There's not a single thing that you could add to your life that will bring you long-term anything, not one. That's how he built you. That's how you're wired. Nothing will bring you long-term anything except for him. You can add that car to your life. It's going to bring you temporary joy, temporary thrill. You can add this person to your life. It's going to bring you temporary joy, temporary thrill. You can add this new title to your life. You can bring you temporary joy, temporary thrill. You can go get you a brand new banging body. Temporary joy, temporary thrill. You can go get a new Birkin bag, a new Louis bag, a new Chanel bag. Temporary joy, temporary thrill. And then at some point in time, the thrill is going to be gone. The joy is going to be gone. And those things are just going to be regular fixtures in your life. I said regular. That car that you obsessed over getting brought you temporary joy. It was a temporary thrill. The feeling is gone. The only thing that will bring you long-term anything is him. Everything is temporary. He's the only thing permanent. And the day you understand that, your whole life gonna change. The only thing permanent in your life is him. We suffer because we cling to things that are temporary. We suffer because we cling to things that change. And you want this thing that actually is changing to be permanent, or you want this thing to stay in your life forever. That was never the thing's purpose. The thing came into your life to unlock a version of you that you didn't have access to before you gained access to the thing. So I came into your life to unlock something in you. That was it. You took something that was temporary and you tried to make it permanent. Every person that comes into your life is not supposed to be loyal to you. Some people come into your life to teach you where your boundaries don't exist. Some people come into your life to teach you where love doesn't exist. Some people that come into your life to teach you where the work is. Some people come into your life to teach you that you don't really rock with yourself like that. Some people are just your mirrors. Some people are your windows, and some people are your doors. Your job is to know the difference between the three. I'm telling you. The only permanent thing, and once I understood that, it was game over. It was like and that's the beautiful thing. Enjoy the thing while you got it. What do you need to cling to the thing for? What do you need to become attached for? Enjoy it while you got it. He gave you access to this person. Wonderful. Enjoy the person while you got it. Don't focus on the fact that you might lose the person. Don't focus on the fact that somebody else might get them. Don't focus on the fact that their love might leave you. You're wasting time. He's saying, I'm giving you time to experience this person. Stop thinking about when you're going to lose a person and start focusing on the fact that I gave you access to them. The only thing you need to be focused on. The person doesn't belong to you. So if they decide they want to give their love to somebody else, that has nothing to do with you. But if you focus on the moments that you get to be with that person and you are fully present, you are fully immersed in the experience, the person may never want to leave you. It's just like a butterfly. If you open your hand, a butterfly will land in it. And the butterfly may stay there for a few moments, or the butterfly might stay there for a week. But the point not to be missed is when you take that open palm and you close it, you damage the butterfly. Now you've hurt its wings, and now that butterfly can no longer fly correctly. People are just like that. When you leave your hand open, they're going to want to stay. But the moment that you clutch that fist, and this is mine now, and you got to move this way, and I've got all these expectations on you, and I need you to be this for me, and you can't talk to anybody of the opposite sex, you hurt the butterfly. You hurt the butterfly. You ruin the whole experience. Ruin the whole experience. Experience ruined. Whole experience ruined. Then you can open your hand like this, a butterfly laying right in your hand. As long as you keep your hand open, it feels safe. It feels free. It doesn't feel confined. It doesn't feel trapped. But the moment you do this, ruin it. See, your job is to transform your life into a butterfly garden. Because when you transform your life into a butterfly garden, all of the butterflies come to you. But the moment you start chasing the butterflies, you'll never catch them. That's what we do with people. You chasing people, you won't catch that person. Let the person come to you. You don't need to chase anything. You need to transform yourself into the thing that people chase. You let everything come to you. So God is saying, build your butterfly garden. All the butterflies will come to you. You won't have to chase a single one. Do me a favor, you guys, and share the live to your stories real quick. If you haven't already done so, share the live to your stories real quick. If you haven't already done so, share the live to your stories. I appreciate that, you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for getting the shares out. We heal to heal. Don't let that go over your head. Please don't let that go over your head. That might be the most important thing that you ever hear me say. We heal to heal. The most important thing, we heal to heal. That's what it's all about. God created you to be a healer like him. God needs you to heal so that you can teach others how to do so. That's what it's all about. That's your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is not to be a reflection of the world, which most people are. Your purpose in life is to be a reflection of God, which is what most people are not. To be a reflection of divine love. That's the purpose in life, period. Because if you never make it there, you will never make it to anything else. God didn't create you so that you can be a reflection of the world. No more than you did. You didn't have kids so they can be a reflection of your neighbor. You had kids so they can be a reflection of you. You had kids so they can be an extension of you, not the extension of the person down the street from your house, not the extension of the teacher that they're learning from, not the extension of the kids that play outside of their school. You had your kids because you had so much love in you that you wanted them to be an extension of you. When you're looking at them, you see you. When God looks at you, does he see your reflection or does he see the world's? You reflect in something. You either reflect in him or you're reflecting the world. No, in the middle. All of your suffering is coming because your reflection carries more of the world than it does of God's love. I can really end the live on that. That's the number one reason why we suffer over everything else in the world. All of your suffering is coming because your reflection carries more of the world than it does of God's love. When people see you, what they see is your reflection. They don't have access to your behind the scenes. Only you see your behind the scenes. Only God sees your behind the scenes. I don't see your behind the scenes. I don't know what your behind the scenes looks like. And no one else does. You know, God knows. So when I see you, what I see is your reflection. So let's talk about your reflection. Your reflection is your ego. Your reflection is your programming and conditioning. Your reflection is your pain. Your reflection is the masks we wear. Your reflection is your prejudices. Your reflection is all of your assumptions that we make about people. Your reflection is the label that you place on others unknowingly. That's your reflection. Where's God's love in all of that? If your reflection carries that, and it does, before your spiritual awakening, that's what your reflection carries. So where's God's love in all of that? I'm just asking. Think about what I'm saying. Your reflection carries your ego. Your reflection carries your persona. Your reflection carries your reputation. Your reflection carries the masks that you wear. Your reflection carries your level of education. Your reflection carries who you think you are and who you think you need to be for the world. Okay, wonderful. Tell me where's God's love in any of that? I'm just asking. I'm not asking you to change your life. Not asking you to change your life. I'm just asking you to look at it. We don't ever look at life from this perspective, so we don't really understand. So when he's looking at you, he sees a reflection of the world, or he sees a reflection of himself. It's one or the two. See, we were created to let our love change the world, not to have the world change the way we love. That's where we get lost. One more time. You were created to let your love change the world, not to have the world change the way you love because somebody hurt you. Somebody took advantage of you. Somebody broke your heart. Somebody betrayed you. And all of those things change the way you love, change the way you interact with people, change the way you see people. And so we start projecting, we start seeing people through our story. We see people through our pain. We listen through our triggers. We listen through our wounds. So one more time, you don't become a reflection of the world. You don't become your reflection is of the world. It's not of divine love until you wake up. God sent you to give love, not to seek it. You're suffering because you're seeking it. One more time. God created you specifically to give love, not seek it. You suffer when you seek it. Because again, seeking implies that you don't have it. You only look for things that you're not in possession of. You don't look for your keys when you know where they are. You look for your keys when you don't. So anytime you go out looking for love, what you're signaling to him is that you don't have it. That part right there, Kim, that part right there, I love that. You suffer when you seek it, beloved. If you are seeking love, again, seeking implies that you are not in possession of whatever it is you seek. Same thing when you go to the grocery store. Why do you go to the grocery store? You go to the grocery store because you don't have any groceries. You're looking for something. But if you got a refrigerator full of groceries or a cupboard full of groceries, you're not going to the grocery store. Why? Because you have everything you need. When you're loving yourself unconditionally, you're not looking for love. When you're loving yourself unconditionally, you don't need other people to be your happiness. Why? Because all of those, you're in possession of those things. You only go looking for things that you're not in possession of. Most people are so busy looking for love that they never took the time to become it. That's the problem. I said most people are so busy looking for love that they never took the time to become it. Most people get stuck in life not because they can't do better, but because they have gotten comfortable with less. You have accepted jobs, relationships, and situations that you know don't match your worth. That's what you know. You can tell the world anything, but it's different when you shadow box with me. Because I'm going to demand that you look at yourself in the mirror. I'm going to demand that you come face to face with the truth. And yeah, the truth may be painful, but it'll transform you. Pain transforms. But everything you avoid controls you. And the reason why you did that, is because it felt easier than fighting for what you deserve. It felt easier. Settling is the enemy of growth. When you accept less, you send a message to yourself and to the rest of the world that you aren't worth more. I need you to wrap your mind around that. I said settling is the enemy of growth. When you accept less, you send a message to yourself and to the rest of the world that you aren't worth more. And guess what? You create that version of yourself. And that version of you starts to attract people into your life. So when you have all these toxic relationships, just understand that the next person that you call toxic was only coming to reflect a red flag that you carry. See, we think red flags are in other people. No, false. The red flag was in you. Those moments when you show up small, those moments when you had convinced yourself that you couldn't be happy without this person, those moments when you accept less than you deserve, those are versions of yourself that you create. When you attract people into your life, it's not because of who you pretend to be. You attract people into your life because of the versions of yourself that are unhealed. So the red flag was in you. Whatever you saw in them, you only saw it in them because it existed in you first. And you attracted that person into your life, not to hurt you, but to reveal you back to you. To show you where fear reigns over love in you. That's why people enter our lives. Some people come to be our mirrors, some people come to be our windows, and some people come to be our doors. That person is a mirror for you. See, we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that the red flag is in the person. That's why you don't grow. No, you can only see something in someone else that exists in you first. If it's not in you, you can't see it in them. That's the law of mirrors. If it's not in you, you'll never see it in them. You can only see something in someone else that exists in you first. That's how you able to see it. So every red flag that you think exists in someone else is a red flag that you carry. And that red flag is just a version of yourself that accepted less, a version of yourself that tolerated the verbal abuse, a version of yourself that tolerated the disrespect, a version of yourself that walked on eggshells. All of those versions of you attract different people into your life to reflect where fear reigned over love. So the person was never designed to be permanent. The person was designed to do exactly what they did, which is show you you. And the reason why you wanted to get out of that relationship is because you didn't like what you were seeing anymore. The person was only your pain wearing a different face. They were wearing the disrespect that you tolerated, wearing a different face. The person showed up wearing what you settled for, but just wearing a different face. Every version of you, when someone enters your life, they end up wearing the face of something that you settled for. They wear the face of your pain. They wear the face of the disrespect that you tolerated. They wear the face of what you settled for. Everyone shows up wearing the face of some version of you that you need to heal. If you look back over your life, you'll see it. Don't run from the truth right now. Bathe in it. If you look over your life, you'll see it. If you look over your life, you will see it. Look over all your past relationships. It'll be staring you right in the face. Look at all of the things you tolerated. Look at all the things you settled for. Look at all the things that you said yes to that you really wanted to say no to. Look at all of the moments when that person spoke to you in a way that made you feel some type of way, but maybe you were too terrified to say something. Just look at all those moments. Okay, all of those moments when you were those different versions of yourself, it creates an imprint in your mind. When people show up into your life, they come to reflect the imprint. They'll be wearing a face, but it's your imprint. Every single person that you bring into your life has the power to create an imprint. And when they create that imprint, that can be positive, it can be negative. So the red flag comes from that imprint. And God knows that you were never going to do the work on yourself. So what did he do? See, because man invented mirrors, but the mirrors became too honest. So when you looking in the mirror, you didn't want to really deal with that. So what did he do? God said, okay, I got a way to help you. I'm gonna just send people into your life to be your mirrors. And that's exactly what he did. Every single person that came into your life could only reflect you back to you. They can reflect where you're strong. They can reflect where you're weak. They can reflect that you love yourself. They can reflect that you don't. They can reflect that you believe in yourself. They can reflect that you don't. Somebody is always reflecting you back to you. You got 5-star respect for yourself. That's the only thing that can be reflected. If you got 5-star love for yourself, that's the only thing that can be reflected. A person can't reflect what's missing. I mean, if a person will only reflect what's missing in you. That's what they're reflecting. And this is why I tell you guys, I don't attract toxic people into my life because those versions of me don't exist anymore. So I'll just never tolerate. There's just certain things I'll never tolerate. It just would never happen. I'll detach myself from the situation the moment that the disrespect shows up. Because you got to understand, when it comes to a toxic relationship, all of that takes time. Toxic relationships don't happen in one day. All of that takes time. In order for that relationship to become toxic, there's a certain amount of patterns that you ignore, a certain amount of habits that you ignore, a certain amount of behaviors that you ignore. It doesn't just happen in one day. Ain't no such thing as a one-day toxic relationship. No, the moment that that person showed you a behavior that was out of alignment with who you are, you should have been out. But you didn't do that. Why didn't you do that? Because it was something that you needed from them. And whatever it is that you needed from them was more powerful than what they were giving you in that moment. That's why you stayed. We stay in relationships because the people in our lives fill two buckets. That's why we stay. When the relationships are unhealthy, we stay because they're filling two buckets. Sometimes they show up for you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they love you, sometimes they don't. So it keeps you confused because sometimes it is what you need it to be, but oftentimes it's not. The person gives you 1%, but they take back 10. They give you 3% of this day, they take back 13, right? So you hang on to the little moments when you are getting a little something from them, whether it's attention, time, love, whatever it is you're getting from that person, you hang on to those little moments. But you ignore all of the moments when you don't get what you need. That part, Sabrina, 100%. 100%. That's why I say there are no L's when it comes to God. There are no wrong paths. There are no bad decisions. You never made a bad decision in the history of your life, and you've never been in a failed relationship. You've never had a single failed relationship in the history of your life. No matter how bad you think the relationships may have been, none of them were failures. Not one, not a single one. You learned something from them. Most importantly, they were the entry fee to what's happening in your life right now. What's happening in your life right now, or what's getting ready to happen in your life, depending on where you are on your spiritual awakening journey. All of what happened in those relationships is what you came here to heal. See, every negative thing that has ever happened to you in life is what you came here to heal. That's the part that we don't understand. I think we lose sight of that. Not that you lose sight of that. You never understood it to begin with. The average person, you never understood that to begin with. So how can you appreciate what you don't understand? Every single thing that has ever happened to you that you consider to be negative was a part of your spiritual contract that you signed with God before you ever came here. You came here to have certain experiences as a spirit. You came here to have certain human experiences. And every single thing that has ever happened to you was all supposed to happen exactly how it happened. Here's the difference. You just didn't know when it was going to happen. You knew that it was going to happen, but you didn't know when it was going to happen. It's all a part of your spiritual contract. So, you got to understand that. So nothing that has ever happened to you was, and again, it didn't happen to you, but it did happen. Well, we'll go on. That's a different conversation for a different day. I don't want to go too deep on you guys right now. I don't want to get too deep because we can go to the bottom of the ocean, and some of you guys might not be master swimmers yet. You might not be a master swimmer yet. So I said, I'm ready.
No, it's yeah. My students already know. Bronx said, "Go, go, go."
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. That's what's important. I said, we don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. That's what's building your life. Who you are when no one is watching is what's building your life. Not who you are when it's all eyes on you. Not who you are when you're on social media. That's not what's building your life. The person you are when no one else is watching is the person that's responsible for taking your life to the next level. That should scare you or ignite you. Is that version of you a procrastinator? Is that version of you unmotivated the majority of the time? Does that version of you not have a burning desire to become something greater than you are right now? Because that's who's building your life right now, whether you realize it or not. See, success comes at a price, but it's usually bigger than most people are willing to pay. Success comes at a price, but it's usually bigger than most people are willing to pay. But what's the cost of you remaining the same? We don't ever factor that in. That's what hurts us more than anything else. We don't ever factor that in. What's the cost of you remaining the same? Yeah, I understand that success comes with a price. We get that part. We're always forward thinking. But we don't ever do defensive thinking. Defensive thinking meaning that you're locked in on, okay, yeah, I understand the price of success. And it's going to require discipline. But what's the cost of me remaining the same? We never factor that in. What's the cost in me never becoming who God intended me to be? Okay, I can stay in this relationship, and yeah, I'm comfortable, and yeah, I got to deal with their BS from time to time, and yeah, I'm settling, but at least I know who my partner is. Most people have settled with that. At least I know who my man is. At least I know who my woman is. But you're not becoming the person that God created you to be. What's the cost of that? If change seems hard, then you have to ask yourself this question. What is the price of remaining the same? If change seems hard, what's the price of remaining the same? How much is it costing you if you continue to stay at a job that you hate? How much is it costing you if you don't take care of yourself because you don't have the time, energy, or motivation to do so? How much is it costing you to stay in a toxic relationship? And when I say cost, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about how much is it costing you emotionally? How much is it costing you mentally? How much is it costing you spiritually? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about money at all. If you don't take the time to create the life that you want, you're going to spend a lot of time living the life that you don't want. But the time will be spent regardless. If you don't take the time to build the life you want, you're going to spend a lot of time living the life you don't want. That choice is up to you. I'm going to set my mic down right there. All right, boom. That's what scares me. That's what scares me. You're going to build a life you want, If you're gonna spend your days living the life you don't want, but you're gonna spend the time regardless. That's what's crazy. You're gonna spend the time regardless. 6 months is gonna pass by regardless. A year is gonna pass by regardless. You're gonna still be the same person you are now. You're gonna transform into somebody else. But the time is gonna be spent regardless. All right. Real quick, yeah, it's scary as hell. I mean, for me, I do offensive and defensive thinking. I don't just look at what I want. I also pay attention to what I don't want. I don't look at just where I'm going. I pay attention to what could potentially keep me from getting there. And I think that we don't look at life from a panoramic perspective. We're only so focused on where we want to go, but we're not focused on all of the things that may keep us from getting there. And oftentimes that's where the focus needs to be, not so much on where you're trying to go. I get where you're trying to go, but what are the things that can stop you from getting there? Even if the things that can stop you from getting there is just some version of yourself that you haven't healed yet. That's what's important. All right. Again, welcome to all first time and last time listeners. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, relationship mastery. I specialize in helping my students, my clients all over the world to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful versions of themselves. I've been coaching for 2 decades now. I have mastered my ability to simplify the complicated. I think that's one of my gifts, but for sure to just take what's complex, that being self-awareness, and to simplify it in a way, not where it's simplex, right? But to simplify it in a way where you just get it, right? You just understand. We talk in words, but we think in pictures. And so I've become really good at just painting portraits because that's what communication is. Anytime you're having a conversation with someone, their mind is a blank canvas, your mind is a blank canvas, but your words are the paintbrush. And so, your job is to paint the most beautiful portrait in the mind of that person because that's what your words are doing. People aren't seeing your words when you're speaking. They're seeing pictures that are reflective of your words when you're speaking. And so once you understand that, then you understand, well, I need to just paint a beautiful portrait in the mind of that person. If that person walks away confused, that's not their fault. That's your fault. If the person walks away and they don't want to take advantage of the opportunity that you have, that's your fault, not their fault. Why? Because the picture wasn't clear. And people buy you before they ever buy what you're selling, right? People buy you before they ever buy what it is that you needed from the situation. And so it's important for you to understand that. Again, we talk in words, but we think in pictures. And so just become a master at painting portraits, in beautiful portraits, not just portraits, but beautiful portraits in the minds of every single person that you meet, because that will last forever. All right.